Welcome to our weekly show for the National Association of Independent Medical Practices. You can find us at NAIMP.org. NAIMP is an organization focused on helping independent medical practices become more successful by providing innovative discussions, networking with like-minded professionals, and opportunities for growth, education, and increased revenue. Check out our website today at naimp.org.
Hello, this is Shirley Crest Dudley, and welcome to our show today. Our speaker is Edwin Dearborn. Edwin is the founder and CEO of the New Patient Experts. Recently, Edwin was featured an entrepreneur regarding his success with social media. He has also been called a marketing expert by the Orange County Register. In the last 20 years, Edwin has lectured to thousands of dentists, doctors, and chiropractors as a keynote speaker on the subjects of business, marketing, and personal growth. And we've had Edwin speak before, and his presentation was so popular that we'd like for him to come back again. And today's presentation is Branding and Our Social World. So welcome back.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being here, and I love all the presentations that you do, and I think your format is highly needed within this field.
Thank you.
So now we want to talk about branding in our social world. I think this has been a topic that's been very of interest of lately because, number one, branding is really about how do we stick out, how do we stand out amongst so many opportunities and options, particularly with doctors. I go to cities where, there's hundreds of dentists, particularly large cities, and even in small cities, there's 30, 40, 50 choices. And so how do you stand out, get recognized? And then secondly, how do I leverage this thing called social media to really get my name out there, and how does it work with branding? So I want to explore the basics of that so that doctors can start getting an understanding that branding is very important, and I think that most of your listeners and people watching this already know that, but really what is it? And then how do we leverage social media with the brand? So I'd like to first start off by defining what is a brand. The reason why I do this is a lot of people, when I ask them, tell me about your branding, they usually point to a logo, or they'll point to a website or a brochure, a tagline. But in reality, a brand is much more than that. And in the last few years with social media, branding has even grown in terms of what really we mean by what is a brand. David Ogilvy, one of my favorite authors, in fact, David Ogilvy was called by Adweek and Advertising Magazine as the father of modern advertising. The show Mad Men was modeled off of David Ogilvy's life. So David Ogilvy really is the most respected and probably the most famous person in all time in advertising. He says that, what is a brand? The intangible sum of a product's attributes, its name, packaging, and price, its history, its reputation, and the way it's advertised. So as we can see by this definition, it's more than just a logo. It's, what are you charging? What's your history? What's your reputation? That's very key today, reputation marketing and reputation management. How do you advertise, meaning how do you use social media? All those little nuances brought together is what forms the brand. As the definitions here, the intangible sum of a product's attributes, its name, packaging, and price, its history, its reputation, and the way it's advertised. Second definition here is my definition. I took the liberty of defining it. Your distinctive, indispensable attributes and value. So when you look at a brand, what makes a brand a brand? It's distinctive. And it has something that is indispensable in terms of attributes and value. For a dentist, it's how do you stand out against other dentists? Do you know more things? Do you have certain skill sets? Maybe it's the school you went to. You're an Ivy League school, or you went to USC. You have something that allows you to leverage some difference about you. And that's an interesting exercise, but believe it or not, we can always find those little bits of differences that are important. And then what are the attributes and value that we can market and brand you as indispensable? For a dentist, a lot of people don't go to a dentist because, you know, they just kind of live with the pain. So how do we get a guy to identify? So now what I've developed is, and this is coming in my upcoming book, Power Branding Secrets, which I should be publishing in about 6 to 8 weeks. I identify what I refer to as the branding triangle. And I think this is very important because there's 3 things that really are where you become distinguishable and where you can feature your values as a brand based on the definitions that we went over. The first one, the bottom one, is brand identity. Brand identity is the logo, the tagline, your colors, your website, how does your office look. These are physical attributes that we can go, oh, that's a Starbucks versus that's a Pete's Coffee. So the way we first identify a brand is by its brand identity. Again, the colors, logos, etc. This is what most people refer to as branding when I speak to them. But in reality, your brand goes beyond just the identity. So now when we go clockwise to content management is how we actually promote our business. And what we mean by content is this can be articles, brochures, webinars, podcasts, emails, tweets, anything that is putting information out to our audience, whether it's our existing clientele or prospective patients that we want to reach. How do we engage with social media? How do we engage with email? And so a great brand is great at content management, meaning they send interesting information. And I'll give you an example for a dentist. Most dentists have a website, but it's kind of like a static brochure. It's got their name, their phone number, their services, some photos, and maybe a video. But very few dentists will send regular emails of interesting information. What's the best type of toothpaste or toothbrushes to use? What is the dangers of bleeding gums? What are the different types of procedures? When a dentist or any business person starts to put out on a regular basis through email, social media, and blogs this kind of engaging or interesting information, it allows that brand, that doctor, to stand above the rest, to stand above the crowd by going, well, he's not only a great doctor with a great brand identity, but he's really good at engaging us with information. This becomes a major differentiator when you're branding an office. Is it providing great content? Is it providing helpful information? Then we go to customer relations. Customer relations is such an important part of the brand. And because, let's put it this way, guy gets your information, he reads an email, it gets forwarded to him, he reads your tweet or finds you on YouTube or whatever, he likes your brand identity, you seem trustworthy, he walks in the office and the front office girl is not that nice, she's a bit indifferent, you wait a long time, and you don't quite get the service that you want. Well, A, they probably won't come back, and B, they might even leave a negative review. Well, if that bad customer relations continues as a bad habit, all of a sudden he's like, I got all these bad reviews. Now we have people branding you as someone who's slow, not nice, or inefficient. So customer relations is an important branding factor because eventually people will start to talk about you. And now on sites like Yelp and Google and other type of review sites, these are important things to keep in mind. I love this quote that really talks about what is a brand in today's world. And this is from a book called Funky Business. It says, the new competitive battlefield is not the engine or the air conditioner. It is the design, the warranty, the service deal, the image, and the finance package. Intelligence and intangibles. It's very important to understand those two words because I'm going to talk about them more. Intelligence and intangibles. Emotions, and of course people. People can make your organization, your products, and your service solutions unique. How you manage and lead people, how you organize your operations will determine whether or not you succeed. So in branding, right, I tell people you've got to be smart with the intelligence, you've got to be smart with the intangibles, you've got to make emotional connection with people, you've got to have great service organization, you've got to manage your people, because from the consumers, from the patient's point of view, they're walking in, and what do they feel are the most important parts of your brand? Is it your logo or how they're treated? Well, it's how they're treated. So how you treat people and how you organize your office is a part of your branding. Let me break this down a little further on tangibles and intangibles. And the way I like to say it is when you put the tangibles and the intangibles together in a great way, you create the unimaginable. The tangibles are, again, what we would refer to as the brand identity. This is your logo, your colors, your packaging, your slogan or tagline, your voice and sounds. This could be, when people are waiting on the phone, do you play them certain messages? Do you have music in your office? What is the tone of voice when you answer the phone? What is the tone of voice when people are welcomed into the office? And any art style or photography or the design of the office. These are things that we can see, we can touch, we can listen to. Those are the tangibles of a brand. But now, is that all there is to branding? Well, the answer is no. Great brands, or I call a power brand, are awesome and very effective with the intangibles. They deliver impeccable customer service. In fact, it actually becomes an amazing experience when they're there. What is the mood and the tone? Is it warm? Is it friendly? Again, for that earlier quote, it's the emotion. So the brand is now making an emotional connection with people. We know them by first name. We welcome them. Is the organization efficiency there? Or are we disorganized and we've lost their paperwork? Do we send them the wrong statements? Organizational efficiency always is a great customer experience. What's your mission statement? Does your staff know your mission statement? Do they live the mission statement? Is it published? Do your patients feel that you're truly living the mission statement? And also, another important factor with brands, and this has really recently come up in the last few years. In fact, Forbes and Inc. and major publications have found that people love brands that are involved in the community. How are you serving the community? People that serve the community and showcase that they're genuinely involved, whether it's Little League, helping the veterans, maybe building a school, or they go on 5K runs for cancer. All these things are important because when you're involved in the community, they know that you care. All right, now I'd like to talk about customer service and its relationship to branding. And I think this quote from the Harvard Business Review really succinctly brings to light how important customer service is to the branding of your practice. As the quote says, when it comes to brand building, customer service is often the last and most ignored piece of the puzzle. This is a big mistake and big missed opportunity. Aligning customer service and your brand is an essential but underused way to attract and retain customers, differentiate the business, and boost brand loyalty. Done right, it can create a truly sustainable competitive advantage. Harvard Business Review. So I think that, a lot of people, they look for outward signs to differentiate their brand, meaning we need a logo, we need a great waiting room. And yes, these are important. But as the Harvard Business Review says, the big missed opportunity is really having your customer service so nailed down, so refined, so professional, that in itself it can differentiate the business. And I want to give you a great famous example. If you go to Nordstrom, I don't know what their logo looks like, and I don't know what their tagline is, but I know one thing about Nordstrom. When I go shopping there, I'm going to get impeccable, amazing customer service. Nordstrom is world famous, and their branding is not built on an image or a logo, although they have these things. Where Nordstrom has been able to shine is in customer service. I believe that that is a great sign for a dentist. How friendly are you? How impeccable? How organized are you? It becomes such an amazing experience that people feel compelled to talk about you on social media. People feel compelled to refer you. Oh my gosh, my experience here was so amazing. I am definitely bringing my friends and family here. That's what we mean by making customer service a premier part of the branding of your practice. Okay, so let's take a look at the next part of branding, which is content marketing. I'm going to clear this up because the term flies around. Content marketing is the creation and sharing of content such as blogs, consumer reviews, ebooks, articles, and videos that informs, educates, or entertains you. It is a highly effective marketing technique that allows brands to attract customers through engaging information. In the second part of that triangle, we talked about content management. That's what this is. One of the most important pieces of content that a practice needs to curate, meaning collect, and distribute is online reviews. And yes, we consider that content. And who better to brand your business than those people that have had an amazing experience or have received an amazing benefit from your brand. You know that a study was done that 90% of what determines how a brand is chosen now is online reviews. People go to Yelp and Google, and when they buy supplies or books or kitchen equipment on Amazon, people check the reviews. And it is known that the more reviews you get, the more business you get. Well, see, again, we're coming back to great customer service. That great customer service becomes an online review, becomes a piece of content. So it's not just an experience, it's an experience that we've now documented and distributed. Well, let's say you've got 50 or 60 great reviews after a year. We can take those reviews and we can share them individually on social media. We can collect them collectively and even put a page on our website called Rave Reviews. So when someone goes to your website and wants to see whether or not you're someone that they should shop with or buy from, they go to that page, and there's so many success stories and so many wins and so many great experiences and testimonials. Obviously, this is the doctor that I want to go see. So without this type of content being distributed, you have no way of differentiating yourself. You're just another dentist. But you're not another dentist when you deliver impeccable service and you're allowing and you're creating proactively this great experience to now be shared, particularly with social media and blogs and email, etc. Branding and content marketing. Again, another quote from the Harvard Business Review, one of the preeminent business magazines in the world. They say, quote, consumers today have many options, and more than ever, they choose particular brands to communicate something personal about their own beliefs and priorities. The best way to establish and reinforce common values is to create content that's so highly specific it defines not only the brand, but the customer. Now get that. Great marketing bridges the gap emotionally between the brand and the customer. So how do we do this? Again, online reviews. We could do videos like before and after. These are great. This is great videos, you know, a 2-minute video. I had no teeth and I could never smile, and then I saw Dr. Jones. And Dr. Jones, now I'm smiling, I have more confidence, I'm happier. My gosh, it's changed my life. Well, when you create those type of videos and those type of reviews, and you share them on your Facebook page, through your email, and again, through these review sites, guess what happens? People look at that and it's an emotional connection. I didn't just put in an implant. I changed this man's life where now he can smile, where he has confidence. He's living a happier existence because of the doctor. This is what we really feel in the branding industry is the important differentiators between dentists. Because if I'm in a town with 90 dentists, who do I go to? Well, I want to go to the person that people trust. I want to go to the one that I can connect with emotionally, that aligns with my priorities, and I have trust that in some way, because of the services received by that dentist, my life will become better, more confidence. I smile more, you know? And so this is what we want to create. We want to create a great experience with the brand. Now, branding and marketing meet social. Again, a preeminent magazine, Forbes. It says brand storytelling isn't a new concept, but with the explosive growth of social media and content marketing, the opportunities to tell stories as a part of a direct and indirect brand marketing initiatives have become a strategic priority. Now, when we say tell a story, just like the example I told you earlier, you have the before and after. I believe the brands, the doctors, the businesses that really wrap their wits around this concept of storytelling and capturing it on film and capturing in case studies, photographs, etc., is really going to be the practice that grows. Now think about it. I'm on Facebook and I have a good friend, right? And I know that they've had dental problems. Maybe they didn't smile. Maybe I could see that they had yellowing teeth. And a video, the doctor took the time to create a 2-minute video on YouTube about my friend before and after story. And he shares that on his Facebook page, going, I went to this doctor, he made a video about me, and I have to share it because it really captures the essence of how he changed my life. Well, if he's got 1,000 friends, he just shared that. Without the doctor paying for anything except creating the video, which is maybe $100 or $200, he just spread what I like to call word of mouse. Not word of mouth, word of mouse. He has spread by electronically the new word of mouth. And then I'm looking at this going, my God, my friend has got his life changed. I congratulate him. Who's your doctor? Who's your dentist? I know somebody else with that problem. See, and when you have even 3 or 4 people doing that every week, sharing a success story like that, guess what? It starts to have an impact. And I'll give you one example. I have a client of mine who in 1 week we collected 16 success stories. And we put them on social media, we put them on Yelp. I tell you, not only were the patients excited, and not only were they telling all their friends, the doctor was reading them, and he had a renewed spirit of actually being a dentist. He didn't realize that he was changing people's lives. And he was reading these success stories to his staff, and all of a sudden, he had a renewed sense because it wasn't just, I fixed the person and he left. No, I fixed the person, I documented the change. It was an emotional thing. So not only was he promoting this great content, but it was inspiring him that, you know what, I really am of value to my community. It's not just that this content is important to market your practice, but I find that it helps validate the staff that they really are making a difference in people's lives, which the vast majority of doctors and dentists are. They are out there to help, and they're bringing people back to health. Branding and social forward goals for a brand. Advertising, marketing, public relations, and customer service. And yes, they're different. Advertising I define as announcing. You're going, hey, we're here, buy from us, check us out. That's advertising. Marketing is moving people through the process. So maybe through your advertising, they opted in on your email list, or they ask for information. Marketing now is the follow-up, letting them know the pricing, how they can pay, et cetera, so they actually pay you money. Public relations, we do this for our community, we've won awards. Basically, staying in communication with people and letting them know that you're a great brand, you do great things, you help people, and customer service is obviously making sure people are getting great service. Believe it or not, branding and social media does all of these things. You can advertise on social media, you can market on social media, you can share your great awards and great success stories on social media, and like Yelp and Twitter, customer service. You'll have people complain on Twitter, or people will complain on Yelp, and guess what? There's the brand responding, going, so sorry that it was a bad experience for you. What can we do to make it up? What can we do the next time you show up to do a better job? So social media is really becoming this chameleon where it's got a lot of different ways when you know how to use it intelligently. So now, hopefully I've kind of led everybody to a better understanding of what branding is. Maybe I've tweaked some ideas or some inspiration, and maybe got you thinking about how you can not only better brand your practice, but expose to you and enlighten you all the elements that one needs to take control of to build a better brand and build a better practice.
It's great information, and I took notes, Edwin, and I love the quote at the end, your business exists in the age of search, be found. That's great. So the way to reach Edwin if you have more questions or need help with your branding or social media is edwindearborn.com, or his email, edwindearborn@me.com. And you can also find him out there in social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. And I hope that you'll go back to naimp.org and review the slides. There's some good slides, and you'll get a little bit more information. You can see what Edwin was referring to. And we're excited about your book, so I hope that you will let us know so that we can promote it through NAIMP and through all of our different social media venues, and let more people know about your upcoming book.
I appreciate that. It's a great honor that you would even offer that to me. I'm very excited about it. It's my first book on marketing, and I know there's going to be a lot. And I've really written it for the small business owner and the practice owner to take away some of the big jargon and really give them a playbook, if you will, on how they can take control of their branding.
It sounds very helpful. Well, Edwin, thank you again for your time, your expertise, and this presentation.
Thank you.